Charles and Paul. Paul, I appreciate your diplomacy. I guess that comes with being a judge and everything in your words and trying to explain this situation that we've gotten ourselves into. And I'm probably not at all that diplomatic in my presentation and all. And Charles, you know, to your point of what this union, this conference is going to be, or what your objectives are, that we come together and accomplish something that hasn't been accomplished in this country for over 466 years. I mean, I applaud that, but you don't accomplish things, you don't accomplish unity by pretending or suggesting that because maybe you're not aware of another group's history and trials and tribulations, that it has no particular importance. That's what I felt, because I too listened to the video, and that's what I felt your comments were based on. You know, as a black person, I'm not going to be ignored about what has happened to me in this country being black. That's not going to solve the problem. That's not going to get us to where we need to go. That's not going to render maybe some kind of healing process for white folks who engage in this kind of activity. It's not going to work. What's going to work is that we be able to sit down and, as Paul has recommended, you do some soul searching and everything. There, I felt the dislike and the hatred in the comments that were made. Now, you can't go to your law books and find an amendment or a subject that speaks to that. I got that. But you don't bring people together ignoring their history and who they are either. And, you know, and there's a lot of talk about that. Law has its place. I understand what's going on here. But I don't understand groups of people who want to ignore other people because of whatever their issues are. And I find that a lot of that goes on here. I'm not comfortable with it. I'm not comfortable with left-wingers and right-wingers. What in the hell does that mean? I like Paul, I don't sit on either side of those. I'm an independent who's looking for someone who has the courage to do the right thing and to be truthful and to look at all humanity. That's why I came to this group too. I look for solutions, but solutions don't stand in ground that's based on, let me just ignore these questions and these issues of race. I'm gonna act like you know, it's just not here. It's not important. Let me look at the law book and it says this, this, this. We don't get there, Charles. Not dealing with the truth. We don't get there ignoring the true words that sit in that Bible that you talk about. We don't get there ignoring that kind of stuff. We get there by having a conversation, not by degrading other people. And I yield.
Right. Thank you. Can I reply to that? In I think a couple of conferences ago, Cynthia, Michael's partner, she used the phrase that I think she claimed to be colorblind. And Lewis voiced an objection to that in saying that, well, that sounds like, as I recall anyway, please correct me if I err, Lewis, that Lewis indicated that means that Cynthia can't see Lewis because Lewis is a colored man, a black man. And at that point, and see, that brings us back to the issue of racism rather than the broader issue that I prefer to focus on of justice for everybody. And see, this is why that, and I don't really like the idea of being blinded, and I do see some merit to what Lewis is saying there, but the principle that is attempted to be illustrated with that lady with the scales of justice and the blindfold on, that means that she can't see what color people are, but she can see if they're getting beat up on unfairly. And that means it don't matter whether you're a white man or a black man. If you're getting beat up unfairly, that lady that's colorblind, she's supposed to whack the person with her sword that is beating up on the other person unfairly. And if it happens to be a black man that's getting beat up on unfairly, then that lady of justice is colorblind. She's beating up on the white guy that's beating up on the black man unfairly. And the same rules apply for everybody. She's going to beat up on black men if they're beating up on white people unfairly. I think that's a legitimate point. I'll yield there, Louis or anybody.
Yes, I'd